right.
Your phone is not on mute.
It's your turn.
It's not on 35 yet.
All right.
It's not on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Deborah Green. I'm so excited and very happy to present to you today BCDI Greater Houston Heroes and Sheroes. And we're focusing on not only Shape Community Center, but Shape Community Center and our community events. Today, we're going to talk about the education of our youth. We're going to share photos of those things. We're going to talk about the preschool to prison pipeline. We're going to also talk about various issues that impact our community, such as gun violence. Well, enough for an intro, and we hope that you enjoy. And now I'd like to introduce my colleague, Twala Lochner.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tawala Lochner, and I am the Vice President here at BCDI Greater Houston, here in Texas. So we want to welcome you, and we're so excited to be a part of this NBCDI week so that you get a chance to know just a little bit more about us. Now, with our first slide, you see here that we have in the middle, we have Sheila Jackson Lee, who's one of our representatives, and I'm sure you know who she is, but she will now be running for the mayor of Houston. So we can't wait to see how successful she will be. And the next picture we have is of Sandera Mallory. Can you give us a little information about her?
Yes, absolutely. Sandera is one of my social work colleagues and longtime child protective services professional. We both retired from child protective services with decades of experience. Sandera also works with the coalition, and we are so excited because she works with Texas Southern University. She works with Shape Community Center. And speaking of Shape Community Center, we're moving to the next person there, and I'll let you introduce him.
Yes, his name is Deloyd Parker. Now, Deloyd Parker has been around longer than I've been born. All I can say is ever since I can remember going to Shape Community Center. And to me, he's always looked exactly the same. But one thing that has always been the same about him is that he is here for our community. So we're going to just talk just a little bit about him, and I'm going to move to the next slide. So one thing about Deloyd Parker is he wants to make sure that we keep all of the generations engaged at once. So we have from our youngest to our oldest, we have Elders Days. And in this picture here is just a little bit of a representation of different cultures, different backgrounds, different religions, but we're all a strong foundation. And with that strong foundation, we work together. And as we work together, we learn together, we grow together.
Yes, and it's certainly multiple organizations that are represented there as well. But a little bit about the history of SHAPE. Executive Director and Elder Deloyd Parker co-founded SHAPE 54 years ago. Guess what? Month on June 1st. And Elder Deloyd Parker has helped people like Reverend Bill Lawson and many others who've also passed already. Um, he goes all the way back to the 1960s when he was a part of the Youth Services Peace Corps. And that started actually under Presidents John Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson. Now, he was a part of working in neighborhoods with low income communities. He wanted children to get better access to food, to clothing, to education, to recreation. And also, he realized that there was a very important corner that was within the Third Ward area. And that was a local abandoned grocery store. Now, he used that store to begin Shape Community Center. But of course, now Shape has two locations. But we are really, really excited about today presenting more information about Shape and other organizations.
But especially about Lloyd Parker, because he is one of our heroes. So we're glad to spotlight him here. Here is just a little bit of information about our community engagement. So as you look at this, you'll see that we have pictures that have books about being Black and gives these little children here who are preschool age a little bit of information about where they come from. And also, it highlights one of the things that we have as a mission for MBCDI, which is healthy eating. So the children here are reading these books, and we absolutely love going into various schools and giving these books that is through partnerships such as Scholastic with MBCDI, and then we're able to impact our entire community. Another thing that we do is we want to make sure that we highlight our living legends. So when you're looking at this picture right here, this is one of our most important figures that have been through the center at Shape Community Center and has been invited for our MLK Day. And he started off in the Air Force, and his name is Edward Dwight Jr. Now, the picture in the center here is very, very important because it is in our Austin State Capitol. He is the one who commissioned this, he created it, he sculpted it. So almost every African American history memorial that you see throughout the world and throughout the United States, Edward Dwight is the one who has created that. And so we are so excited that we're able to introduce him to our youth and able to let you guys know a little bit about him here as one of our heroes as well.
So we also wanted to talk a little bit more about the center, the Shape Community Center. It takes on students, and have about 40 students, and they take what's called a freedom tour every year. This freedom tour is inspired by the freedom riders. So the journey actually takes the students to different sites throughout the Deep South. That includes Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and of course, Arkansas. And they retrace the civil rights movement. There's also an elder march, and there's a Million Man March. So this is really, really exciting time. And right in the middle, we have the Houston Sun, where BCDI was also focused in on. And this is one of our Black newspapers, so it's very important to our community.
So when you're looking at these pictures here, one thing that Lloyd Parker always does is he features all of the newspapers that are Black and African and Muslim, all of the things that go about the whole diaspora, the African diaspora. And you can go into this center at any time and pick up any of these newspapers. And the Houston Sun is a historically Black newspaper who has been around forever. So one thing that we wanted to make sure as we are making our connections and using our resources, we wanted to talk about going back to school. And they talked about going back to school and all the different strategies used for mental health. And our president here, Dr. Deborah Green, was offered. She was represented here and was able to talk about all of the different things and resources that MBCDI offers to help Black children. So in the center here, you also see our MBCDI report card that features Texas. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later.
Reading? How many different fruits and vegetables can you find?
Now, this is something that is so exciting. And the reason why is because we're at a preschool here, and this little girl really is reading the book. And the book, of course, is sponsored through MBCDI. And we were so excited that when we got there, the children were very excited about receiving new books. And so we just asked, go ahead, look through it. Let's see what you guys can do. And the teacher said, well, some are reading, some aren't quite reading yet. And we caught this little girl reading, and we were so excited. I'm like, are you reading? Well, keep on going. And so we want to encourage our youth to be very, very excited about learning and reading, because one thing that we know is the thing that puts in what we put in our brains, no one can ever take that away from you.
Specific area.
Now here, Deloitte Parker talks a little bit about expanding.
Fort Bend, there has to be a group of people who have shared ideas, who share the vision. It's like a cadre to come together before I can leave Third Ward and go to Fort Bend and share with you what I have. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. Shape Center started right here. Yeah. I didn't come from another area. I lived in Third Ward. I worked in Third Ward. I spend 90% of my time in the hood. In fact, they call this the United Nations of the hood. So you have to grow from where that area is. No, I can be called to help share successes and share what works. But you have to have a cadre in Waller County, a cadre in Fort Bend, and build from that. We have to. So anybody who's thinking about doing something in that respective area, identify that cadre. And you call me, whatever I can share, I'll come and share it with you. We have to do that. And finally, we're going to close with this after. You want to take it away?
So that was a little bit about the circle at the end, that everybody always holds hands. And then we say some affirmations, we say some Swahili and different things like that. Now, the slide that you're looking at now is, we like to be partners in our community about things that are healing our community. So this particular play that was put on by Sister Mama Sonia was a journey of hope and healing, which was basically about a young girl who had been molested and the things that occurred to her with her, and how she was able to take that journey to healing. You want to say a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of times when we're looking at young people who've been involved in the child trafficking and different things like that, it interrupts the way that their brains are developing. And so we have to bring healing, we have to bring hope. And one way to do that is to write books and to read books. And this young lady that we see here in the blue, she actually wrote a book. And so we were able to have a table there. We were able to participate by sharing what BCDI does, as a matter of fact, and we were able to gather resources for the community as well.
CPS is legally mandated to investigate all abuse and neglect referrals. So it doesn't matter whether or not it's anonymous who made the referral. It doesn't matter whether or not someone's making a referral on you because it's spite. It doesn't even matter. So if there is a referral that comes in and it meets the statutory definitions for abuse and neglect, then CPS will investigate those referrals. Now, there are some instances when CPS does not actually go out and look and talk to anyone, and that's in situations where whatever is called in does not exactly meet the definition of abuse and neglect. For example, it could be a parent-child relationship that's gone askew, or it could be something simply like it's a divorce situation when one parent wants the child over the other child.
So one thing that is very exciting about this is that we do talk about different systems. I'm sorry. We talk about systems, and
so it doesn't
those
matter
systems,
whether or not it's anonymous,
such as the child welfare system, and sometimes people have been what they call kidnapped by the system, issues with child protective services. So one of these events, then Dr. Green was featured to talk about What does it mean for kinship placement? What does it mean if CPS comes and knocks at your door? What are your rights? So here in Texas, we do have a lot of children who are Black and brown who are placed within the system, and usually they do not get adopted out and they age out of the system. So this was a very, very, very in-depth presentation that really talked about how to protect yourself. And it had several members of the community, such as different lawyers and different people who are representatives that are in our community.
Yes, I think it's important that we really call their names out. So Attorney Pamela Muhammad, she was one of the participants along with myself. And with Attorney Pamela Muhammad, she is also a part of the Coalition for the Preservation of the Black Family. Attorney Alicia Fortson, Attorney Japala Kemp, thank you for that. Mm-hmm. Attorney Eric McFerrin, and Attorney Bobby Young. Again, this was very, very important. Kidnapped by the system, issues with child protective services. The child welfare system does systematically destroy our families. We need to be able to arm ourselves against the system, or to at least be able to learn how to work within the system so that we will be able to protect our families and our children.
Habarigani. Now Brother Willis just said this word to y'all. So I say for day 2.
Kwanzaa. Emoja. Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa.
Come on.
Kuju chakaliga. Kuju chakaliga. Kuju chakaliga. Kuju chakaliga.
Can't hear you.
Kuju chakaliga.
Keep going.
So what you see here is that we go to the center a lot of times, and we put on different programs to learn about our history, because oftentimes we know that what is happening in Texas is they're banning all of these different books. They're also removing so much of our history from the history books. And so this also has become a place where we can come together, learn a little bit about our African heritage, learn a little bit about Swahili, and we're able to move forward with just being able to be proud of where we came from.
Can you click on Sister Mama Sonia there just for a second?
Yes.
Habarigani, you answer.
Kuji Chagalia.
Kuji Chagalia. All right. And who can tell me what that means?
Self-determination.
Self-determination. Now, what does that mean?
Think for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Think for yourself. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be the best that I can be, because I know.
Again, Sister Mama Sonia is another pillar of our community, and she is a part of the Coalition for the Preservation of the Black Family, in which we are also a part of that organization. Come together and uplift our community and increase involvement of the parents, the children, the youth, and it's just a phenomenal organization as well.
So here, when you go to Shape Community Center, then they have various objects that are all over the walls. There's sculptures, there are cultural objects all around the center along the walls. And you can pick up any one of these things and learn a little bit about Africa, different parts of Africa, and you're able to see things and touch things that are from your history that you may not have ever seen before. So some children come to this place here and they're so excited to see all these different things, and they want to know, what do these masks mean? Where did they come from? And so they get a little bit of a history lesson in African history as well. And these are more pictures of the center. There was a Pan-African cultural event that everybody had to dress in different cultural attire, depending on what part of Africa that you came from. And so this was something also that we, as MBCDI with Greater Houston, want to make sure that we are upgirding our children, making sure they have a strong foundation, making sure that they have a legacy of love so that they are proud of where they come from.
Yes, absolutely. We participate in schools. Again, we participate in the community. And this is just an example of one event. And you can see in the center that we have on different African garb, and it's from different areas, actually. And then the lady that's in the red, yellow, and green, beautiful, that she's from the island. So it's representative of all of the various cultures that we are a part of, that make us who we are and the richness of our culture.
So one thing that during the summer times, then we have youth enrichment and empowerment. And so a lot of times we may go in and we may speak about different things. In this particular these particular pictures here, what we're discussing is about our education system and the prison to pipeline, the preschool to prison pipeline. So we have to our left, you'll see me sitting here, and we have in the middle Dr. Deborah Green, and over to the right we'll see Rodney Ellis and some of our other representatives that have come through to speak a little bit about education and what we can do to politically make some moves to change the direction of the way our education system is going.
Yes, so we definitely speak at different colleges as well. And the previous slide, I think part of it was our speaking at Texas Southern University Thurgood Marshall School of Law. And then this current slide that we're looking at now, we want to talk about the fact that we have an emphasis on appreciating our Black leaders. And this is shown in some of the altars. Again, these altars are found, 3 of them as a matter of fact, at the Shape Community Center. And they're walls that are donated to honor our elders. And then along the side, you see us where we participated in another community event where we provide food. The other one at the bottom with all the balloons, that's like a graduation, we participated in that.
This actually one was what we are really focusing on is education.
Yes.
And so this event that you see at the bottom with everyone in these white coats, these are high school students who have a medical pathway, a biomedical pathway. And that is what they're learning about, how to be doctors and how to be physicians. And so this was a major dedication where they all received their white lab coat with their name on it and the classes that they've already completed. So we're looking here at juniors and seniors of color. And these kids are very, very proud of what they're doing, and their families are too. So we wanted to bring a little bit of Afrocentric food there as well to share. And this particular food that we brought was from Lucy's Ethiopian restaurant.
And it was delicious. That's
I know.
I'm just thinking about the food.
I started tasting
good.
it. I started tasting the food. You made me mess up the whole
I know,
word.
But it's Ethiopian. It was great. It was so good.
Ethiopian food. Lucy's restaurant. She's the best. So if you're here in Houston, make sure you stop by. Then also, there are a lot of artwork that are all over Shape Community Center that reflects the missions and beliefs of the center. And so you'll see Black art. You'll see some of the sororities and fraternities. You'll see something like in the center of this picture where you see America and you see the person ripping themselves from the chains. You'll also see pictures over to your right-hand side where it says Carl lives. And it talks also about the Negroes and how we were treated as chattel. And at the bottom, you'll see we're celebrating Free Geronimo now and also Dr. King. So we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the present and the past, because we want to make sure that if we understand we come from a very rich history, that our future can be only greater.
Yes, below you will see there's an image of the kitchen that it's Black-owned restaurants. They can rent. This is actually in the Shape Community Center. And so if you would like to rent out their kitchen, you can do that. And what I love about it is they really have some really wonderful vegan dishes, and it's just delicious. But not only that, for those people who eat meat, they do have fish on Fridays and things like that as well.
And we're in the South,
And
so
we're in
you
the-
know they have good meat too.
Yeah, it's there.
So now what we're looking at is just a few of the flags that represent all of the different places in Africa and in America, as well as it says, I am because we are. We are, therefore I am. And that is one of the mottos there at Shape Community Center. Now what we're looking at is our State of the Black Child report card for in Texas, because some of our things that we focus on here in Texas is to end suspensions and expulsions for all young children in Texas. We want to improve the health and wellness among the Black children, increase high quality early childhood education for Black children, and address high rates of infant mortality for Black children. Representative Sean Theory just wrote within this 88th legislature a very good bill that addresses this for the mortality rate for our Black women who are in Texas who are dying as they're giving birth. And next, we have our final slide, BCDI, Greater Houston Pillars of the Community. These are some of our original people who started off here when we first started. And I was a little girl and I grew up with most of these people. So I'm so excited to be a part and to continue to be a part of the legacy that is so rich and so powerful here in Greater Houston.
Thank you for joining us. Again, this has been BCDI Greater Houston, Pillars of Our Community, as well as looking at all of the services that we're involved in and engagement, especially with our community from young to our most precious elders. Thank you.
And one more thing, don't forget, go to www.mbcdi.org, select Greater Houston, and join us today. All right. Thank you.
Bye.